everybody, to a new episode of In Search of Zen. We're your hosts, AJ Bate.
And Jason Allen?
No Zen today, baby.
No.
Fuck it.
Sorry.
No, it's, hey, man, we've been, we're all, you and I, we're both feeling it, you know?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
brutal. This is, before we started, kind of like things were getting a little bit of, antsy, it's too much to deal with right now just because of, like, the whole, lockdown and seeing the world going on. We've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
it's kind of, the reason why we keep bringing it up because it keeps still happening. So
Yeah.
it's hard
just,
to
like,
really, it's really hard to like enjoy talk about anything else because it's the one thing that's constantly on your mind all the time.
Yeah. You just feel that constantly. It's just like it's so fucking hard in Canada because now you're seeing everybody else come out of it.
Yeah.
Except you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you and your brother are both grounded or something like that, it
fine,
sucks, but
yeah.
you're both grounded.
Yeah.
But for you to be grounded and then look out your bedroom window and see him fucking playing with everybody else, you're kind of like, am I fucking that bad?
Yeah.
Do I deserve this much of this?
I remember in the 8th grade, we just gave this one teacher so much trouble, we were just completely like being pieces of shit.
Right.
But the entire class, I wasn't participating as much as other people, but
Sure.
it was just so much that was going on that they sent all of us home.
The whole class
got sent home for
Right.
the rest of the day. And it was when I got home, my mom was like, "Well, what are you doing here early?" I was like, "Well, we got suspended for the day." She was like, "Just you?" I'm like, "No, the entire class." And I didn't get in trouble because
it's like
the entire class got suspended.
or what's she gonna say? It's kind of mob mentality, or they kind of lumped you all together, and your mom realizes that.
So yeah, mom was like, "Well, I guess you all got expelled. You all got suspended. You all got suspended." So
what am I gonna really do?
yeah, exactly. So just go.
She can't find out who the ringleader is.
Go make me some cinnamon toast bowl, crunch bowl, whatever.
Is that what they call it?
Whenever they give me a bowl of cinnamon toast that's in a bowl.
Your mom never once demanded this. Don't act.
I said to her.
Oh, you said that to your mom?
Yeah, and she was like, "Fucking go make it."
I'd fucking ground you for that.
She's like, "Go fucking make it on your own."
Yeah, you piece of shit. You got suspended. Your mouth.
This is Mama's big house. It turns out it was Martin Lawrence.
It was your mother was Martin Lawrence the whole
just
time.
as my
Plot twist.
We'll talk about like some of the movies that I watched recently that really got me upset. But so speaking, what's that?
You've been watching a lot of movies that are bothering you.
I watched like most of the movies that I have watched were really good and I loved them. And like I started going back and watching some old stuff.
But you also watched House.
But I watched
Big Mama's House.
Exactly.
And now you're mad.
Actually, I think if I watched Big Mama's House after the movie that I watched that upset me, I think it would be like a cleansing palette. I think it would be much better. Like that's how bad this movie was. But we'll talk about that later. But going back to the whole lockdown thing. So for those who don't know, earlier this week, Doug Ford came out. And
Is this about us making him cry?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Us making him cry.
I could care less.
No, for sure. But what I love now is that it went from it's your guy's fault. At least now he stopped doing that. But,
yeah.
But what he's doing now is that he's lying. Because he's like, sorry that the playgrounds are locked, but I didn't say to lock them down. Sorry that the police were stopping people and checking, but we didn't tell them to do that.
Well, he's going, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like
how else did
that's
you mean
exactly how you meant it. So don't, that's like his thing now, right?
Yeah, so now he's like lying. Now he's just...
all they do is lie.
He pants on fire.
All they do is lie. So...
Yeah, I don't know man. They're fucking liars, man.
But seriously,
they are true.
But
it's
seriously,
true.
I know it sounds like generic or cliche to say that, but after a while, it's like
fuck it, it's true. I mean, it's a cliche for a reason.
And we're kind of the dummies too, because if we all know this, why is this still a thing? It's like politics is the only job you can get it by lying, and then when you're caught lying, you're not immediately fired.
Yeah, that and meteorologists.
If a company found out you would lied on your resume to get the job, they'd go, I'm sorry, you can't work here anymore. And you would really have no leg to stand on.
Yeah.
You couldn't be like, well, I 2 weeks notice, or we're unionized. You can't do this to me. No, they'd go, no, you were caught lying. You have to leave.
Yeah, supposedly I know how to speak French.
Yeah.
And I know how to swallow swords.
And then they find out you're not a French-speaking sword swallower. You're not a sword swallower and a Frenchman.
I can barely get a straw halfway through.
Yeah, get out of here. We gave you the COVID test. You had a gag. You can't swallow no fucking sword.
Get out of here, fucking smelly lying French.
Yeah, you'd be dismissed right away. But these guys, not only do they not get fired, they can apply again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we just put up with it as a society. And there has to be another way. But they do a great job of, even when you want them out, they've somehow like I don't even know how to like put this or the word to put it. They've almost they demonize protesters regardless of the protest.
Yeah,
because I get there's some protests you like more than others, or like
of course
people are on different sides of different arguments and things like that, and I understand that. But every protester gets demonized in one way or another. So even when you want them out, you're demonized.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
or you're considered a terrorist. Or it's considered treason.
Yeah.
Or it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Even if you want their immediate removal, you're considered the dangerous one.
Of course, yeah.
It's never them. But, like, what's more dangerous than, like, well, I guess there's things that are more dangerous, but it's very dangerous to be like, stop and search to your police department. Yet he'll never have to answer for that. There'll be no legal repercussions. And there might not even be like repercussions as far as like a job loss or loss in career for somebody like Doug Ford.
No. Well, you know what's really sad about all of this is that even let's say, he does resign, or let's say that they get replaced or they never get reelected again.
Why would he resign though? Like, I don't see.
No. I mean, like if he gets pushed out,
Sure.
forced, or if he even never gets reelected. The problem is that the damage is already done, and there is no really proper retribution for it. I mean, you can't execute the man, like he didn't do anything like necessarily illegal.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it's almost like, when two people get into a car crash, right? When two people get in a car crash, you can say I'm right and you're wrong or whatever.
Yeah, you were at fault or whatever else. Either way.
Yeah, but it's like, so you're right, but either way, like you said, like you have like at least 2 weeks of your lives that are like disrupted.
You're just fucked. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of the same way too. Like even if, which I don't think anybody, regardless of what side of the political spectrum you are, I don't think anybody can say, oh, Doug Ford is doing the right thing. Like I think everybody, conservative, liberal, whatever.
I think a lot of people are fed up.
I think everybody's fed up.
People, I hope so.
But unfortunately, that doesn't change anything. The damage has already been done. We've been very late to roll out the vaccines. We're coming up on almost like now, this whole thing started in what? In March?
March of last year.
Last year. So
it's
now
been over a year.
It's been over a year, and it could have been less, but because
and then I read this report that it's like if we reach 70% vaccinated, things could be normal by the summer. It's like, yeah, but the problem is the rollout is so slow. That's not on the citizens. Again, that even through reports, they almost make it seem like the people are refusing to get it. The majority of us, and I guess there are some anti-vaxxers, but I would say that the majority of us, like the vast majority, I would still say, wants the fucking vaccine.
Yeah,
I'm sure 70% of us would love to have our first shot by the summer and maybe be in some places and have some normalcy.
Yeah, well, my mom was one of those people that doesn't want to get the shot, but we kind of forced her. Like, we literally...
You kind of have to do with your parents sometimes.
Yeah, we kind of, like, hog-tied her and just, like, took her on our shoulders and walked her in and just, like...
I was wondering, because you did message me about tips for knots and stuff
exactly.
like that. I did send you a couple.
I know you do have, like, a sailor background, so I knew that you
wow.
A little bit too into it though, by the way.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's almost like you responded right away. Like
you have one Anchor tramp stamp and everybody asks you for not advice.
Doesn't end.
It never ends.
Never ends.
No.
Not somebody once, shame on me, but But you're absolutely right. And I read an article, and I really hate. Sorry, guys, for this not being really funny because we're just kind of really upset. We'll get to the funny stuff later, I promise. But
you always do that. You always promise funny later, and then I'm like, maybe I don't know.
Even in my set, I do that, guys. It's gonna get better.
It gets funny.
It's like, how long is your set? 5 minutes.
It's 5.
2 minutes. The next 3 minutes.
The first 2 minutes are gonna be horrible.
Get on the choo-choo laugh train, baby.
The choo-choo laugh train.
They're like, you suck.
If you ever record an album, I want it to be called the choo-choo laugh train.
Oh, dude, I think that would be much. Yeah, because all the.
I'd buy that album.
Was that?
The choo-choo laugh
Fuck
train.
yeah! You're like, what am I expecting?
AJ
Is this gonna be wacky?
All aboard.
But then you tell like it's just me like just screaming.
At least for the first 2 minutes.
The most misleading title of all time. But I read an article that said that there was a big batch of their vaccines that were almost expiring because they're not administrating them.
Yeah.
And so, and the thing is that they got stuck so long into a certain age group, like their movement from 50 to now it's 40 was much shorter than them getting out of the 85 plus range.
Sure.
Because they sat in the 85 plus range for so long,
and it really didn't even get to everybody there because
but then they moved on to the 65, and that was a bit long to get to that, and then 55 was a little bit longer, and then they got to 50, but then they moved right away to 40. And I think that's what they are doing right now. They're moving into age ranges much faster now.
Well, I think part of the reason they're moving faster, though, too, is from what I've heard anyways, is that a lot of baby boomers were refusing to take the AstraZeneca vaccine, so those were going to go bad as well if it didn't get moved down to Gen Z, which is like the 40.
No, Gen Z is like...
And then they were like...
Gen X.
Or no, Gen X, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Gen Z is like 20.
Yeah.
So Gen X was like, yeah, fuck it, we'll take it.
Of course, yeah.
We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Skate or die.
Yeah, of course.
And they started taking it.
They're soaping everywhere.
Yeah, and they were just like, waxing curbs and stuff and grinding.
Isn't that what that's called? The sneakers that have the rolls underneath them? Soap?
Oh, yeah. But, so they started taking them. But another thing that happened, I'm not saying this is the only reason to blame for this, but you could look back through news cycles. A couple months ago, there's video of Doug Ford being like, if I was offered the AstraZeneca, I'd probably turn it down and wait a couple months for a different vaccine. I'd rather wait than take the risk.
It's a good job.
So, like, what are you doing, man?
That's like walking.
What are you doing?
Dude, that's like literally.
And then later he did end up taking it. So, of course, he went back on everything because that's what he does. He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And he goes back on everything. And then when he did take it, there's a video of him getting the shot and then pretending to die.
What the fuck is he doing?
He's a piece of shit, dude.
Dude, that's like literally walking into you remember that season Curb Your Enthusiasm? When Larry David is on Broadway, and Mel Brooks is the producer, and he's doing everything in his power to
ruin the show,
to ruin it.
Yeah,
and he's even telling Larry, "Oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. You gave it your best shot. It's okay." Like he's like pushing him to like fail. It's like, and then like he's like pretending like he's like so upset that it's failing, but he's really happy secretly.
Yeah, it almost does seem like
it's like he's Mel Brooks.
Ontario to fail.
Yeah, it really does feel like that.
It's starting to, yeah.
And obviously I understand how ludicrous it is to think that way. Especially if you're exhibiting certain behavior. Ludicrous.
All right. God damn it.
But
this is not the funny choo-choo train I was expecting, but here we are.
This is the landing airplane joke. But no, it's stupid to think that way, but I mean, like, it feels like that. It just feels like he just doesn't want things to go back to normal. And, they don't have anything to worry about because they're like in their late 50s and 60s.
And also, like, Doug Ford's not going to stop working. Vaccine or no vaccine, Doug Ford's not going to stop working.
Yeah.
he's like his money's not gonna slow down unless maybe he gets voted out, and then even then he probably slides right into another job that is apparently
100%.
Considered essential the whole time.
He's probably set for life, man. Him and his whole clan are set for life. It's and that's the issue is that all these people are like they're either close to retirement or already set for life. So a year of the world stopping, it really doesn't matter to them. It doesn't really hurt them at all. But for us, people that are like starting out and they want to do something with ourselves, it's too much. A year is like too much. Might as well just should have committed a crime and went to jail for a year. Might as well. Like
or at least then you're not paying for your own food.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to do anything.
You know what I mean? So it's like, because it's not like everything really stopped.
No.
All that really stopped was like your socialization and your personal life and like maybe certain goals.
Yeah, I mean all the goals really.
Rent doesn't fucking stop.
No, nothing. No.
The mortgage doesn't fucking stop.
Insurance.
The phone bills, the car insurance, that shit. You got to do that shit the whole time.
Yep.
So
eating, all that stuff, the gas, electricity,
all that shit's still there waiting for you.
So all the all the shitty stuff didn't stop, but the things that really give you the will to live every day are the ones that
that make you feel like special or like that you're like. Or that you're getting some kind of break or some kind of reprieve from the daily grind.
Yeah.
That's all gone.
Yeah, I mean, the more I live here, the more I start to like realize that Canada is a great place to live in if you're somebody who wants to have a family and have a good job, but like that's it.
Oh, yeah. No, if you just want to punch the clock and then sit at home on the couch.
Yeah, if you want to take a knee until, like, you pass away.
Fuck yeah.
Like, Canada is the place to be.
That's the spot, baby.
Healthcare, pretty much, things are, very easy. No guns, nothing.
That's exactly what it is, though.
Like, no guns here. Like, healthcare, it's fine. If you're, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you're somebody that wants to get married and have a steady job and have kids. And then go away.
You just want to work and watch your sitcoms at night.
Canada is the place to be.
For sure. Yeah.
But if you're somebody who wants to kind of do something that's different, Canada is a very hard place to be in. Because I've been even looking, because like with me with the short films, I even like, I'm still going to make them and whatever. Right. But I was looking into grants and all that stuff. And every grant comes with a list of conditions, and on top of it, you have to have a production company that applies on your behalf, and there's no like really place for investors to kind of reach out and be like, hey, can you give me some money? It's very hard to do that because it's all coming from the government, so and so they're very selective about who they give to, and in a lot of cases, you have to apply for multiple grants to get the amount of money that you want. It's very hard. It's just very, very hard to do something here. It's very difficult. It's not, the economy and the system is not built for that way of life. No, at least from what I've observed, from being here.
Canada's not designed for
different career paths.
For different career paths or like any kind of like unique career, or you paving your own way. Canada is just not designed for that.
It's not designed for that. No, it's very difficult to do something here. And it's even proven a lot harder because of this lockdown that's not going away. Everybody else, and I think a lot of the reasons why America's been able to move on is, number one, is that they have that culture of paving your way in a unique career.
Absolutely.
So there's pressure for things to get back to normal as soon as possible, because not everybody has like a 9 to 5 that they can get done from their home.
The States was also an independent country from the very beginning, where Canada wasn't.
No.
We were like reliant on
the Crown.
On the Crown for a long time, the show.
Mm-hmm.
We were relying on that series for quite some time.
Yeah, the girl that plays Diana is a hot piece of ass.
Well, so is the original.
Nah,
am I right? No?
Waka
okay.
Waka.
Waka Waka Diana. But yeah, because of that, we just we don't have the same infrastructure. So the vaccine, there was no place where it was produced here.
Yep.
Where in the States it was
they already had like
they had places where
Pfizer,
it was actually being produced. So again, like Canada's like, well, we have our own independence now, but it's like, do we? Because we're not even producing our own vaccine. We're waiting for it to come from another country.
We're waiting on it from Russia, India, and some countries in Europe.
There's nowhere like. Canadians don't need jobs. There's nowhere where we could have been creating this.
No.
Give me a fucking break, man.
And that lies on Justin Trudeau for not getting that done.
Yeah.
We can't say everything is on Doug Ford.
No. There's failings on multiple levels of government in
the
Canada
fact that the government
this isn't even a left or right issue anymore.
No.
This is really a take care of your this is really like just a failing of government in all levels. And it's the people who suffer.
Of course, absolutely. As always, obviously, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big issue is that we didn't feel like we were proactive. Now, it's very easy to kind of, backseat run the country, but, we knew about the vaccines since Halloween, if not even before that. So, and you see every country. I mean, I'm sure if you're
that's the whole fucking thing. Is that like people are like, well, it's probably harder than it looks. I'm like, I guess, but at the same time, like, should we be like 48th worst out of the countries, like for rollout?
Are we in that?
I think it's like we're ranked like 46 or 48. We're back. So like, I guess it's like, could you do any better? It's like. Maybe not me personally, but I could literally name like.
But I'm not running
45 other countries.
But I'm not running.
And I'm also just not in charge of. This is why I don't run for prime minister
because I don't know how to do it.
I'm clearly not saying I could do better, but there's fucking several world leaders who are doing better.
That's the thing. Here's the thing. There's a reason why I'm not running for office is because that's a headache that I don't want. I don't know how to do that.
But you signed up, babe.
But you signed up. You signed up.
So fucking you get to take the lumps,
Exactly. You don't get to just like, hey, I'm prime minister, and you get to play pretend, and then when the going gets rough, you're like, well, it's harder than it looks like.
Than it looks, guys. Fuck off.
So I'm not running for office. You are.
If you don't like it, leave.
Exactly. Let somebody else do the job.
Some of us don't get to leave. Not everybody gets to go like, well, Canada stinks right now. Let's all go somewhere else.
And it's not as easy as you think it is.
Where you can we don't all get to do that. But if you don't like being prime minister anymore, you don't like being premier, resign.
Let somebody else do the job.
You fucking frumps. We don't need you.
Exactly. Let somebody else do the job. And it's not like we're asking something that no other country has been able to do.
No,
we're literally
we're not. Yeah,
we're the worst at it.
Yeah, nobody's saying like, "Hey, why aren't we living on Mars yet?"
Exactly,
Justin Trudeau. Nobody's saying.
Nobody's
that.
asking for something unreasonable.
Yeah,
there is a blueprint for how it's done because there are other countries. The UK that we were making fun of, they're doing much better. The U.S., by the way, like we said before, I don't want to hear a single fucking Canadian
say shit
about the U.S. We do not get to talk.
The joke used to be like, well, Canada should build a wall, so the states should build a wall. So we don't come in with COVID.
I'll be on the other side handing bricks,
Yeah.
I'm just like, here you go. Well, I have my foot in Niagara Falls, USA.
Keep us in.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why these positions are very difficult, and they're not really sought after a lot, and they're difficult positions because it requires difficult tasks to get done.
Yeah.
And part of it is this. A vaccine that we knew was going to come out around the fall of last year, and you see neighboring countries getting ahead of it and like building factories and facilities to make the vaccine in their country so they don't have to reach out to anybody else. Yet somehow we just, I don't know.
We just didn't like. We didn't feel the need for independence.
Did we feel like? Did somebody promise us that they would take care of it? Like, what was What was the mindset of it? What was going on? What was was there something that was more important at the time than other things?
What could be more important?
I just don't know. I'm asking the question.
When the world is like locked down, what could be more important than
just don't
getting
know.
us going?
And I always love how the ICUs are jammed. Well then I'm not saying I'm not there. I don't want to get into the ICU. I'm not going out. Fix the ICU. But just bringing up the ICU
and
argument,
again, this is something that is completely on the politicians again. Because you know how many ICU beds we have in Ontario?
Not a lot.
Generally?
No, I think
it's usually 500. I think because of overflow and like we've been creating them
I think
as
there's
we're going.
One bed for every.
We're now at 800 in a province that has 15 million people.
Yeah.
So whose fucking fault is that?
I think there's like
man?
a per capita thing because like one ICU bed costs like $4 million or something like that. Like they're very expensive. So I think for every 10,000 or something like that, there's one bed.
Okay.
But I mean, people here pay a lot of taxes.
Yeah.
And and you know what? Like in the beginning, I was one of the people that would always say, people in the government, they know what they're talking about. They probably have people there. They're strategic planners for crisis and whatever. I mean, looking at the last year or so, I don't think anybody had a plan. Nobody even attempted to have a plan. It was the same plan. We're literally doing the same thing that we did a year ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're literally doing the same thing.
Here's the other thing. Here's how great the government is. A lot of people have been tracking down their vaccine availability, not through the government website.
Of course not, because it's useless.
Because it's completely useless. But through these guys I think they're called Vax Hunters or Vaccine Hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Not a government-run website.
Yeah, because they're incompetent.
Not government-run at all, but it's working. Which means that these guys are better at protecting fellow citizens than the government.
If you go on the government website for vaccines, because that's the other thing too, because people were like, well, the website is very simple. The politicians are like, well, the website is simple. You just go there. It's self-explanatory. Well, I've been on the website.
You explain it. No, don't say it's self-explanatory. You explain
it. Yeah, exactly.
You come on the news and fucking explain this to us.
But even with that being said, I was like, okay, maybe I'm stupid. Let me take the time to understand it. I went on. I put in my postal code. My age range is not in there yet. And even if, so what are you talking about? They're like, oh, you should go and sign up. I can't sign up.
Oh, you can't even sign up.
Because it's not my age range.
Mm-hmm.
If you put in your postal code, there's a drop list, and you pick the category that you're in. I'm not in any of those categories.
There's not even a category for you yet.
There isn't yet. So
right.
There's nothing for me to do. There's nothing for me to do. I'm waiting on you, douchebag.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there needs to be a thing where, hey man, it's so weird because you know how, like, for example, like when you're backyard or whatever, something like, and then you see like ants. You just see ants, right?
Right.
And you just like kind of stomp them, and you have no regard for like, oh my god, I just there's probably an ant baby that's
waiting
gonna be
for that. Yeah.
You just ants. They stay.
Sure.
And you move on with your life. That's how politicians, I feel, look at their citizens, where it's like, lock it down for a year. Small business is small business.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That's not me.
That's not me.
Not me.
I don't care.
Yeah. I can't remember what movie it's from, but there's this movie, and there's this guy. He's on a roof, and he wants to shoot people off the roof. He wants to kill people, and there's another guy up there trying to talk out of it, or they're talking about how useless people are, anyways, right? And then one guy looks down, and there's people down there, right? But they're so small. It's like dots moving.
Yeah.
He goes, "You see those moving dots?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "What's the big deal if one of those dots stopped moving?"
Yeah.
And that's how they feel. We're just moving dots.
Exactly.
And if one of us stopped moving, What the fuck? What would it matter?
Yeah, it's
to some rich kid who's literally been caught in blackface twice, or blackface and brownface.
Yeah, double whammy.
Get them both. Get in all the groups.
Yeah.
Twice. Will claim he's not racist. You did it twice, dude.
Yeah, it was. He really loved it so much. He just couldn't stop doing
it.
I can't blame him. Have you ever put on blackface? It's very invigorating.
It is actually pretty freeing. You feel like you can jump higher, that's what they don't tell you about blackface. Is that your jumping does get better.
There's something tickling your thighs, and you're like, "Oh,
no,
big surprise for Papa."
I'm just dunking. My dick's getting longer. It's the best. So yeah, there is that. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have used that as a negative.
No, it's a bad analogy.
Now I feel terrible.
Leave JT alone.
Yeah. No, for that I forgive. No, it's just like, what did we expect from this guy? And Canada's so great at doing this too. Did you ever see that clip on Last Week Tonight of Doug Ford? This is like years ago. This is when he was running for mayor of Toronto after his brother.
You're talking about John
Oliver.
Yeah.
On Last Week Tonight, there's a clip of Doug Ford in Toronto at a Jewish high school because apparently his brother Rob had said some anti-Semitic things, and Doug was asked about it. And to defend his brother, he goes, well, maybe I'll have to check with my Jewish lawyer and Jewish doctor and Jewish this and that realtor. And then the students start booing him and stuff.
Yeah,
of course, because you're a fucking idiot. And then Canada will go we're not racist. We're not racist. No, we're the best. We're not like the States. It's like we're completely, give me a fucking break. Trudeau, racist. Doug Ford, racist. Some of these laws that they tried to pass while this has been going on have been completely racist.
Yeah.
The targeting of minorities that happens in stop and search, it's all racist.
Yeah.
So, enough of this. Let's point at the States and their Confederate flags, and let's look at our own shit. Maybe we don't have the memorabilia that the States has. We don't have Confederate flags and shit like that.
We have a less
symbols?
We have a less rich history in it, but there's still a lot. There's a lot
don't
of
kid yourself.
There's a lot of stories you hear about back 200 years ago, 300 years ago, things were happening all over Canada.
And not just there. You know when the last whitewash school was? You know what a whitewash school is?
I mean, teaching everything, whitewashing history.
Well,
and all that stuff.
And it's also it's pretty much it was a school that was that native kids were forced to go to that robbed them of their culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Last one stayed open until 1996.
Yeah. So 3 years after I was born.
Yeah. I went
4 years after I was born.
I'm older than you. I went to I started high school in 99. So only 3 years after I entered high school was the last whitewash school, abolished.
It's insane.
And I'm only 35. I'm not super old.
No,
this should have been done a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So don't give me this shit about hey, let's look at the States and their problems and stuff like that. And Canada's fucking cool. Give me a fucking break. Don't kid you. I'm so sick of this. Oh no, we're nice. We're Canadian. I'm so sick of this attitude.
Yeah, it's like somebody asks you oh, hey, I'm not racist. My favorite football player is black. My favorite jerk chicken place is Miss Patty's, and you just start it's
give me a break.
I don't understand how that is supposed to be, but
how's that even acceptable to say something like that?
No, everybody knows that the best jerk chicken place is Jerk King and
clearly
everybody
don't be
knows.
A fucking idiot.
But I mean, I don't know why. It's very hard to expect empathy from people that have lived. If they weren't born rich, they were at least rich for the last 10 years
of their lives. For long enough that you can forget.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that every politician was born with a silver spoon in their mouth, but a lot of them have been rich for so long that being poor, or not even poor, just even us, just kind
working
of
class.
We're not doing bad, but we're, things could be better. They don't even know what it's like to be like that.
No, they don't even
look.
They have no clue.
They don't worry about what's the price of, food on the menu is. They just go in, they order, and don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So they've lived there for so long that they just don't understand. They say that they understand because obviously that's the easy thing to say. Oh, we were working hard, blah, blah, blah. But they don't have the urgency that we have to want things to go back to normal.
Yeah,
They don't have that urgency.
No.
Because it's clear, because every time now, because their argument always constantly changes. For a while, it was they were blaming us, but then they got a lot of backlash for that. So now they stopped saying that, especially after the lockdown. Now it's less of them saying it's people's fault now.
Sure.
That.
Well, yeah, because how can you blame us now when we're all stuck inside?
But that's what I mean. Like that scenario was starting to slow down,
Sure.
and now we're like, okay, what about the vaccines? And they're like, well, the ICUs are busy. I'm like, that's not the same. We're not talking about that.
It's a whole different
We're
argument.
not talking
that's a whole
about
other
that.
thing.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
We're not. I feel sorry for everybody that's suffering and has it. I've had an uncle that passed away from COVID. I'm not. Not definitely firsthand, but I know what it's like to get COVID and like have somebody lose their life. But there's two parts to solving a solution. Understanding the danger of it, which is obviously being safe and avoiding crowds and having parties. But the other part is being proactive and trying to get out of this situation. Because, okay, I'm going to be careful. But, okay, for how long do I stay careful when nobody is, like, helping out to get us out of this issue?
Yeah, and like that's the hardest part. It's just like you just feel like after a while, you just feel like, well, nobody's getting me out of this. I call my diabetic specialist today, leave a message to see. I've been having numbness in my hands, but also I want to know what's going on.
You can't see
COVID.
Anybody.
I probably won't hear back from them. I honestly probably won't. Healthcare in Canada is like, it's free, but you get what you pay for. Like, it's really not good.
You have to wait a long time.
I won't hear back from my specialist. All they do is push product on me that my wife's insurance doesn't cover. I probably won't hear back about this issue with my hands, and I probably won't hear back about like where I am on the list to be vaccinated. I could be wrong, but I'm usually not with these things. I kind of know how these guys operate.
Yeah, I mean, you've been
getting a hold of them.
You've been dealing them with
impossible.
You've been dealing with them your whole life with like your diabetes and all that. So I'm sure very few people know more than you do about this. But there's it's the same culture that existed back home pre the revolution that happened. And I'm not inciting revolt or revolution or anything. I'm not going to be out there. If it happens, I'm not going to be there. I'm going to stay home. Right. I know I've been through one barely, so I'm not, I'm a coward. I'm going to stay home. But the complacency and like kind of like giving in to things, it was the same thing back home where, there was a time where people were scared to even speak in their private homes about the regime because they were saying that through the bulbs they had recording devices and stuff like that.
Right.
So
these rumors start.
It's like so like the fear and the complacency of like, well, just be happy with what you got. Well, at least you're not this. At least you're not the whole
always
thing of
pointing
like
at others.
At least it's so weird. Like oppressive regimes and parents are all the two people that always tell you at least you're not this and that.
Right.
Weird how the commonality between those two. Wonder why. Am I projecting? Maybe, but it feels like there's a lot of similarities there. Well, at least you have your legs. Wow, I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
Well, thank God. Woo!
Yeah, but I still burnt my hand. Like, what do you know what I mean? It's such a dumb argument.
Yeah. Well, at least everybody that you care about is healthy. Actually, I really don't care about that.
But here's the thing. It's like
at least you have a job. Wow, great.
How do you grow? How do you grow? You know what I mean? Like if I was like, look, here's this job that you can get.
Yeah.
And you have to pass this physical. And part of the physical is 25 push-ups.
Yeah.
And instead...
All right, well, no, I don't like how your analogies from now on are all fitness-based, but go ahead, continue.
I just, like, instead of you figuring out how to do 25 push-ups, you bring a friend who can only do 10 push-ups.
And then you do 15. Yeah.
And then you're like, it's like, no, that's not anything.
No.
What are you talking about? And that's what Canada does or did. And I don't think they'll be allowed to get away with it anymore. Hopefully not. But that's what they did to the States all the time. They go, well, we're not going to work on our thing, but fucking look at these guys.
Yeah, no, we're not going to make sure that we can do 25 push-ups. We're going to make fun of the people that are
We're going to make fun of these Southerners.
But then, you know, like high school, the summer rolls by and then they get in shape. And then next year they're like doing 25. And you're like, whoa, well, but I was supposed to make fun of you forever, you know?
That's the thing is that America's doing more push-ups than us now. We look like fucking
They just
idiots.
went away for the summer and cried in a pillow the first day, and then they got hey, you know what they did? They grabbed themselves by the bootstraps and they got better. You know that thing that we keep hearing older people say to us all the time?
Yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah?
Not us.
You know, just you dust yourself off and work hard, right? That's what everybody says. Clearly, we haven't been doing that.
No.
I don't know what the fuck we were doing.
Have you heard about this too? We can switch gears here a little.
Yeah,
bit,
we're at like the 40-minute mark.
It's my fault, guys.
It's not really your fault.
It is kind of my fault.
It's not your fault because it's really It's so hard to be funny or enjoy any other topic because, dude, I've told you this before we started the podcast. I feel like a fucking loser.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. I just feel like a bum.
I feel pathetic.
Yeah.
My self-worth is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything because, here's the thing. I'm not one of those people that expects results to happen right away.
No, of course
I have no problem. I'm buying into the culture of working hard and paving your own way. I've bought into that culture. But guess what? That culture is betraying me right now because I can't do that.
You literally can't. Yeah.
But I get to see other people do that. Other people in other countries get to do that. And I can't. I'm missing out on that. So now I just feel like a bum. And I'm still getting up every day and trying to write and do things and be busy and productive and try to, but it's it's like preparing for a test you're never going to get to take because you're just, just keep studying. Maybe one day you'll take the test. Well, we're not, I want to put me in, coach.
Oh, dude, that's like me. Like I literally got my driver's license to whip around the country doing gigs. Oh, where can I go?
I mean,
your fucking car.
Yeah,
I drive the same 3 places every fucking
day. And you
day
still got
just to kill time.
And you still bumped your car.
Well, that's a whole other thing. That's Canadian winters. Again, let's blame Canada.
It has nothing to do with it.
It has nothing to do with it's not what I'm talking about at all.
I was even excited because you were driving us to a gig for the first time. I was excited.
That's right. I was gonna take us to that one in Listowel. That
fucking
got
didn't even get to do that. And it's just, but that's why, man. I just like my self-worth is at a very low, at an all-time low. I don't feel confident. I'm doubting everything.
Yeah.
And there's only so much positive thinking and pushing through that you can do until, like, every human being has his limits, It's you're not fucking immune to thoughts. You're not immune to, doubt and skepticism. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to do it for a year.
And you get this kind of way of thinking ingrained in you your whole life of like, come on, man, you got to keep up. You got to fucking work hard.
You got to
do these things. You got to do these things. And then all of a sudden it's like, everybody stop.
Yeah.
And you're like, but you told me my whole life to work hard and do better. And,
well, not now.
Not now. Now
no.
you can't.
Okay, well, how long should I do that for? A few months?
A couple weeks. 2 weeks. And then we're like, okay.
3.
No, like 3 months.
A year.
Okay, now a year.
Like, okay, well,
maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
Are you planning on accelerating things?
What?
No.
Like,
no.
Why don't you try hard?
Yeah. Why do you keep telling me to try hard?
Oh, now I'm not getting to try hard. I'm not getting to try at all.
Yeah. Are you paying your taxes? Yeah. Well, do you have a job? Yeah. Well, are you taking care of your mortgage or rent? Yeah. Well, we're still gonna wait.
That will be all. That's all we need from you.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that you are doing that. Doesn't mean that we want to do things faster.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's all we need.
Because samesies, we're also paying our mortgages. We actually bought our house like upright like that.
And look, like we're in some ways, and there's like I don't know. It's just like I get sick of the fucking arguments. I get sick of because there's so many citizens that are blaming each other too, which is like not helpful at all. But I do agree that like we shouldn't. I hate arguments of like making this seem like don't call our government the Gestapo or don't compare it to World War II. I hate shit like that. I do hate shit like that.
Yeah.
But I do also hate when guys are like, oh, guys, like comparing it to World War II. Yeah, I'm sure. Anne Frank had it so hard when she'd have to hide in an attic looking at Facebook all day. And it's like, okay, I get that she didn't have those things, but it's like, if your self-worth is so fucking weak that you're just like, well, you have the internet, so you're complete now. It's like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Too. Like, both those arguments are stupid. Yeah. It's not like World War II, but at the same time, if you think that because I have Netflix that I'm suddenly complete, you're a fucking loser.
And also, Anne Frank is to blame too, though. She's
for Facebook,
for being a Jew too.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
that's her fault.
It took a wild turn.
No, but you're absolutely right. Again, it goes back to the complacency argument of like, well, at least you have
at least we have.
Well, at least you have. At least you have. Like, Mom, you give up on life when you marry Dad. Don't. Look at him. Look at you.
The settling around here.
You ever watched Jackie Brown?
Yeah.
Ever when Samuel L. Jackson shoots Robert De Niro and he's like dying, and Samuel L. Jackson looks at Robert De Niro and he goes, "You used to be beautiful, man." That's what I say to my parents. I tie them up.
You look at pictures of them, like young
You used to be beautiful.
You used to be beautiful.
And I just shoot them both.
I think that about my dad sometimes. I love my dad, but my dad's like...
I love my parents too, but they can shut the fuck up once in a while.
I'll see like a picture of my dad when he was young. He's in California. He's holding a surfboard, flat stomach and stuff like that. Yeah. I come over now. He's got a big gut. He'll just rest his hand on it when he's just relaxing. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man.
He rests beverages on it?
Dude, he just sets his hand on it. I'm like, you can't...
It's like,
I'm like, dude, he used to be beautiful.
He treats it like an airplane seat armrest, you know?
Yeah.
He just
I might throw my elbow on there once in a while just to relax.
He's like, hey, you got to buy 2 seats.
He's like, oh, this is my ticket. Get out of here. Use your own belly. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, there's a I hate to say like the whole like they're in moderation, but like it really like okay. They're definitely not the Gestapo. It's definitely not World War II. But also at the same time, just because there are people out there that are having it worse than us, it doesn't mean
you can't be upset about anything.
I mean, when do you get to take advantage of the good things in your life?
Like, dude, if I'm dating a girl and I do something insensitive, or like with my wife, if I do something insensitive, I forget something, and she complains about it, I can't be like, well, some guys beat their wives. I didn't do that. I gotta be like, I guess I
What's
did
the name of the guy in Raging Bull?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, at least you're not married to that guy who beats up his wife.
All the time. What was his name? Raging Bull. And that's another De Niro.
Yeah, it's another De Niro.
He used to be beautiful.
He used to be beautiful.
He did. But anyways, I do kind of blame myself for this whole thing because you came over and you're like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm fucking
it's just really
it today." And I was just in a rough, and then we started talking about it right away.
I love how, it's, I don't know, it's just so fucking. But you're right though, man. Like that's what we're all. Yeah, at least you're not married to Jake LaMotta, you know.
Jake LaMotta.
You just look at your wife.
That's it. Yeah.
But. Yeah, it's a stupid argument to make, and it's almost like how like if somebody has advantages in life and they're like, oh well they were born in a rich family, like we don't have that perk. Our perk is that we're in a first world country. When the fuck do we get to reap the advantages of that? When do I get a fucking break in life?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do to be in a position where people say, well, he has it good because of so and so. When do I get to be on the other side of that? What am I supposed to? It doesn't get any.
Maybe 2022.
Jeez.
And if not,
fuck.
Just remember you have legs.
I do. I mean? Yeah. Thank God for that.
Never forget about your legs.
I'm gonna start showing them off more.
You better. Another thing I wanted to talk about is this. So we do know a comic.
We do.
We know a comic.
Oh, they all died.
No, there's one still alive. I think it's because he's living in the States now.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wanted to talk about this comic by the name of Ryan Long. Did you hear about this?
You go ahead. No, we'll see if I heard about it or not.
So he went on Fox News.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
And was talking about censorship.
Yes.
In comedy.
Yes.
And now I just bring it up because there's a bunch of Canadian comics arguing about it.
Yeah.
Of like, no, censorship is. I don't know what the arguments are exactly. It's either like. Some comics are calling Ryan racist for being on Fox News, and then some are like, no, it's about time we there is too much censorship in comedy and this and that. There's no comedy in Canada right now, so it's so funny to just like hear or look on as Canadian comics argue about stuff like this. I do think that like it's kind of a tired argument to be like, oh, they're just trying to censor us, man. But at the same time, it's like my view on this is that there's both sides can produce really good comics, and both sides can produce
shitty comics.
Really, really shitty comics.
Absolutely.
And this is what always happens, because I do think that there's fuck it, I'm going to try to talk about anything I can and find any angle and make it really good. And there's great comics that come from that school, and then there's comics that come from the I'm going to be a bit more woke and have a strong message and make a good point. And there's great comics that come from that school too. Problem is, from the kind of edgier side, is that there's comics that just fucking suck. They just suck. They're bad at comedy. They just suck. And then they'll go, well, it's because everybody's so PC now.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you're just a bad
You just really are
comic.
You're not funny.
You're just a bad comic. And then there'll be comics on kind of the more politically correct side who's like, yeah, they didn't laugh a lot, but I'm just trying to make more of a point. And it's like, no, you're just not
You're just
funny.
really shitty. Yeah, you're not
just
funny.
also shitty.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a middle ground somewhere that people don't seem to find anymore.
I mean, well, first of all,
I don't think you're going to find it by doing an interview on Fox News.
You're definitely not going to find it. And also
but at the same time, I kind of get Ryan, he's just trying to get some publicity. He's trying to make a living.
Of course.
What the fuck am I going to say?
No.
I'm not going to bash the guy for doing that.
I know. I mean, first of all, good for Ryan, because he's and
he's out in the States and he's doing it.
He's doing it. And whether you whether you consider his stuff to be your cup of tea or not is besides the point. But I mean, there's also kind of a little bit of ignorance when people say, well, there's censorship. Because if you look at people like Tucker Carlson, who are absolutely killing it. Tucker Carlson,
yeah, he's not being censored.
Fox News wants to build another network just around him just because of his popularity.
Sure. Yeah, so are people really being censored?
Ryan Long, if you look at Ryan Long,
Ryan's not being censored.
Far from it. If you look at his videos, he's
got lots of views. He's doing good.
Yeah, Steven Crowder, all those guys. If anything, conservatism or whatever you want to label it, because people are going to get mad if you say, oh, it's not conservative, blah, blah. Whatever it is, that type of humor, it's not being censored at all. There's
a market for it.
It is just that the ones that are doing it and not appealing to a crowd are the ones that are saying that there's a kind of censorship. But the ones that are not necessarily doing it well but have somehow managed to get an audience are killing it right now. And they're not. Yeah. It's just about, listen, regardless of what type of humor you're doing, this all depends a lot on luck. Obviously, talent and skill and hard work and dedication are huge factors, but there's the luck factor that's in it. And regardless of whether your humor is racist or, PC or whatever, not everybody that's doing whatever type of humor is gonna, find an audience like everybody else.
Right.
Ryan Long has been lucky that he was able to get an audience.
Well, and he's been putting up videos for years and years.
Absolutely.
This isn't like he released one video and it blew up.
No, definitely.
He's
he's been consistent at it.
Yes,
absolutely.
And
also at the same time, let's be honest, for a while Ryan was also employed by CBC as well. Like he had a show with CBC, Torontopia.
He's no dummy. He plays it in the center a little bit.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. Like, so let's not. And Ryan forever has been doing this kind of humor. It's not like something new. He's always been against the grain.
He's always been this. Yeah.
So the CBC very much is well aware of his humor, and yet they managed to give him, I don't know if it's a mini series or whatever, but he was able to do something with CBC.
Right.
So let's also not act like the people on the left that are supposedly censoring people are just completely like just kind of not dealing with people that have a sense of humor that's different from them.
Yeah.
So I mean that's kind of a little bit disingenuous. And also at the same time, dude, I don't want a fucking interviewer who with a suit and tie to kind of agree with me.
You think that was cheesy? You don't like
that
part?
They're not funny.
The interviewer isn't. Yeah.
And they're not supposed to be. I don't want them to fucking agree with me. So, do you think comedy has been going through a really hard time, and we all want to laugh. And I'm just glad the fact that you're doing this. Really, I watch your videos, and they just make me laugh. Ha 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 ha. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
You don't know anything about comedy. I don't want you to agree. If you're agreeing with me, then I'm not saying that Ryan is doing something wrong, but me personally, I want to, even if I was, let's say, doing kind of right-wing-ish humor, my job is to make fun of these fucking stiffs.
Right.
If I go on the network, even if they're like, harumph, you're so hilarious, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
No, you should always make fun of.
I don't want you to
agree
with
any news anchor. You should be mocking a little bit.
Especially,
like when like Mark Norman would go on morning news, you make fun of them. You like not relentlessly.
No, don't be a douche. But like I'm not
tease them for being stiff.
I don't want to, So I mean, a fellow humorist, comedy is going through a hard time, isn't it, huh? And he's like, well, yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's like, shut the fuck up. I don't want the fucking hear, especially like for me, like he is the epitome of like when you hear like the devil white guy, like that guy.
Oh, the guy in the suit?
That's the guy that we all hate.
That you all like picture?
I don't like that guy. I don't want that guy to talk to me like we're fucking friends. I don't want to be friends with that person.
Yeah, but you hate white people. Ryan Long doesn't. He's our king.
I hate white people that are like that. That are like, we just know how the downtrodden are feeling. We just relate to the everyday man.
Sure.
Just humor is just going through a very rough time. And thank God that there are some people out there that are just doing the Lord's work and saving it. Right? Say something just like this thing that I just said now. And it's like, suck a dick.
Yeah, it's a very agreeable interview.
Oh, my God. It's just, and I'm not like shitting on Ryan, by the way. I'm just saying that I don't trust people that are trying to appease to comedians too, like somebody.
Yeah, well, no, Fox is just playing an angle.
Exactly. They don't give a shit about comedy.
The right took a great shift, which has actually helped them a lot. Because the right used to be all about Christian values and no swearing and watch what you fucking say and stuff like that. And then everything kind of shifted, and now the right is like, yo, fuck cancel culture.
We want to see more titties.
Fuck those cucks. You know what I mean? Like, show us your tits.
Yeah.
And then people are like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, Captain America's a dude. He can't be a fucking woman. Ugh,
yeah, finally somebody's saying it. So that's the big thing. Do I think that people who are like reporters on Fox News or journalists on Fox News have great senses of humor? Of course not. But they're smart enough to realize that, comics complain about,
censorship.
And our viewers are against cancel culture, and it happened to their queen Roseanne, and it happened to people that they like. So we'll have these comics on. We'll pretend like we find them to be the funniest and coolest people in the world, and we'll all be able to agree that cancel culture stinks and it's all the left's fault.
Yeah, it's just my instinct.
It's just an angle.
My instinct when I hear somebody because I did watch the interview and And obviously Ryan did what he did.
Ryan's
whatever.
just doing
exactly.
He's doing what he's supposed to get himself out in the public eye.
Absolutely. And
again, like, yeah, he did the CBC. He's done, he's done a bunch of shit and was involved with the hard times. He does stuff to get himself
and good for
out
him.
there,
and good for him.
Smart.
My issue was just like with like seeing the interviewer. When the way that he was talking and just like trying to relate and just saying like how he wants comedy to be saved so it's in its purest form.
Right.
That just on an instinctual level just makes I don't trust that.
Yeah.
I just don't trust it. I'm not okay with him getting away with talking that way and just cuz like you said, they don't like comedy in their purest form either.
No.
Because they don't like all comedy.
Dude, they're not coming.
They don't like all comedy. Yeah,
No.
women should not always talk about their pussies and should always talk about let anybody.
And everybody's got a bit of censorship.
Let anybody joke about whatever they want,
Yeah.
and this is a free market, and then the audience will decide what is funny and what is not. I don't give a fuck if you want to talk about racism. If you want to be racist in your act, go ahead, have fun. If you want to do an all-white show, go ahead and have fun. There's a free market out there. Knowledge is out there. People are getting aware, increasing in awareness every day. They'll decide if this is something good or what's something worth supporting. Because I want to be able to do the fucked up things that I want to do.
Right.
I want to say the fucked up things that I want to say. And I don't want to be caught in a lie or being a hypocrite. I don't want to say, well, he's not supposed. I have complete freedom to hate it.
Of course.
There is a lot of shitty comedy and a lot of racist comedy that I don't like because I know I can sense that it's coming from a real hateful place.
Sure.
But I will never come up to that comic and just like, hey, you should not do those jokes. Fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah. I never tell a comic.
Do whatever you want. I don't like it. But I want to be able to do the fucked up things and say the fucked up things that I want to say. But I don't think that it's the same thing with like the ultra white liberal people that are like, fucking wearing dashikis and like bowing down to, minorities and shit like that. That kind of makes me, but also the conservative that's like, don't you hate it when people are discriminating against you and just consider you as, like a charity cause? You must really hate that minority man, right? You must hate that, right? Yeah, you like me, the person that just doesn't see your color and just wants to, like, no, shut the fuck up. Who are you?
Yeah.
I don't like you either.
Yeah. Both are bad. I think Ryan's doing good and doing what like he's supposed to as a comic. Not that like he's looking for my approval or
no, God, no, yeah, but he's doing great, man. He's killing it.
He's doing good. You gotta watch it because I think in the States you can also fall into a slippery slope of there's too big of a market because I'd hate to see him become like a male Nicole Arbor, where it becomes more about trolling the left than it does about being funny anymore. I think he's obviously way more talented than Nicole has ever been in her entire life. And I'm sure he's working clubs again, and things are like kind of getting back to normal for him.
Well, good for Ryan.
I thought it was like cool, and it was just funny to watch a bunch of like Canadian comics who don't even get to fucking work right now argue about what was good or bad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, even though like we're kind of like doing the same thing, but really what it is that for me, I don't really care that he was on Fox News. Like I don't really, it doesn't upset me or anything. My whole thing, and this is really not even a criticism of this specific interview. This is a criticism of any interview that Fox News does with any comedy topic. It's the same approach of like somebody needs to save comedy, right? Somebody that approach is what
same lazy
approach that really sickens me. That just makes me, I don't easily trust that. It's like, what is your motive? Because you don't give a fuck about comedy. You have a history of not giving a fuck about comedy.
No, the motive is just like, we're going to speak out against cancel culture because our viewers hate it. That's the whole
So
motive.
It's not specific
all we know.
to Ryan's interview.
No, of course not.
At the end of the day,
it's not a slight on Ryan, and
absolutely
it doesn't mean
not.
Ryan's some alt-right.
No, not at all.
Nazi, like he's fucking being called in some of the comment
No,
sections.
no, that's stupid. That's
It's
stupid.
so
No,
dumb.
that's very stupid to call somebody like him a racist. That's not, and it's not our place to say that either. So, best of luck to Ryan, man. He's killing it right now. Good for him. Good for him. He's in the States. He's doing it.
One of the only working comics I know.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're all hopefully we want to eventually do. So good for him for doing that, man. But let's leave on a little lighter note. I saw a video recently of a girl.
Okay, well, it's a family show.
I saw a video. I'm so excited to talk about this. I saw a video of a girl, just like a kid, like remember like 8 or something like that.
Okay.
And her parents let her have cockroaches as pets. Like she has this bucket. This bin or whatever that's full of cockroaches, and she's talking to the reporter, and like, yeah, so mommy and daddy, they let me, and like cockroaches are like fucking crawling on her arm, and so mommy and daddy, they let me, and they're not like small they're like fucking juicy,
yeah,
like if you squish them, it's gonna get, it's just gonna go everywhere,
right? And
it's so fucking repulsive, and it's so infuriating that parents like that, like you kind of tell what kind of parents they are. They're fucking slobs. They're cowards. They're weak. They just let her do it, and in some kind of self-esteem exercise bullshit that they're trying to do to like not make her feel weird. Probably, I'm just assuming, right?
Sure.
They probably hate it and they're crying, but she's like a psychopath. It's like, if you complain, I'll fucking put it in your coffee in the morning. So she's like sweet about it.
I did the. Do you think maybe their apartment just had cockroaches and they're like, well,
fuck it.
Hey, they're your pets now to make it so we don't have to hire an exterminator?
Like she really hated it.
I heard, because I never had them, but I had these. A couple of my friends had an apartment in Toronto before. No, not Doug.
Well,
my buddy. He is a cockroach. My buddy, Jonathan, and this other guy, James. Lived together in Toronto, and they had cockroaches, and I heard like they were telling me they're like impossible to get rid of. They're like so hard to kill off and stuff.
Of course,
like
because they fucking just lay eggs every second.
Yeah. So it was like, I think that they were just stuck with them the whole time they lived.
Yeah, but they weren't fucking like just proud to be owners of
course
cockroaches.
Not. I was worried about even sharing their names. At first,
exactly. Like somebody shoot them or burn their apartment.
But yeah, so I just wonder if it was like these parents were like, well, we can't fucking get rid of these things.
You might as well like
so
twist
our girl might as well, I think that
twist the story into, oh look, we got our daughter
a proud
pets.
owner. Yeah.
And she was like, I guess I love cockroaches.
And there's so many. She has so many. She has like a bucket of them.
Dude, and they're like so like dark brownish. It's like the most disgusting kind of color that a cockroach would have. It's like just so gross, and they're so fucking fat, and oh my god. I almost threw up when I saw that video.
Yeah, that's nasty, dude. That's
really
nasty.
Fucking vile. It's really vile. There's another, it's not a video, but there's like a picture coming out of Winnipeg of this fat old lady that sits on bread.
What?
She sits on bread in the store. Like she goes to this like big like shopping like this,
just as like
grocery store or whatever.
To the store?
No, I think she's like big. She's old and fat and tired. She sits on bread.
Just on the bread.
Like her shopping cart is in front of her. She dangles her hand on it, and she just sits her fat ass on bread.
Like her ass on it.
She sits on bread, and then people have been taking pictures of her, reporting her to the police because nobody's stopping this fucking bread sitting serial killer. People of Winnipeg are just had enough,
and they won't talk to her. They just like let her.
Would you talk to somebody like that?
Yeah, Dude, I love yelling at strangers. Are you kidding me?
But she's old and tired,
Yeah. Dude, I almost snapped on this truck driver today when I was in the car.
Oh, yeah?
I was in the turning lane, and he made such a wide turn. He was coming into my lane, and I had to hit reverse so he wouldn't hit me. Because he had such a wide berth. He was like an 18-wheeler kind of truck. And he drove by me, and I'm like looking at him like, dude, and he's like, what? And I just fucking gave him the slow clap for like,
congratulations,
you did it, you fucking dummy. I'm like, stop your truck, man. I'm like, because I was so ready to snap today because everything that's been going on or not going on, and also that guy has a job, so I'll kill him.
Yeah, you know what the crazy thing is that that's his career. This is not a job that he's doing because like, oh, I can't, might as well until the other thing takes off.
That's his
if
career.
You're a trucker, that's what you want to do.
That's his career, and he still messed up the turn.
Imbecile.
Yeah, he's
I haven't
idiot.
called somebody an imbecile. That's what I'm going to call people from now on. Idiot is just not strong enough.
No, he's an imbecile.
You're a fucking imbecile. Do we have any questions on the email?
Oh, fuck.
Let's check now. This is like the longest episode that we've had since the pandemic. Yeah, we're at an hour and 10 minutes now. So
you know what we should do?
What should we do
now?
What should we do?
Maybe we should thank our friend Mark.
Yes, let's. So last week, our friend Mark, friend of the show, shout out to Mark. He emailed us talking about how much he doesn't like rice pudding, but he wants to give it a shot. He did buy some rice pudding. He didn't like it, but guess what, baby? I ended up getting some rice pudding.
You did end up getting some rice pudding, so huge shout out to Mark. He sent us an email about it, too, that said, I did it. I tried the rice pudding. It tasted pretty good, but like I thought, the texture didn't feel right at all.
Well, it feels right to me, baby.
Yeah, it feels
so
very right
please...
It was unlike anything I've tried before.
Oh, come on, stop.
And I probably won't be dipping my feet into that pool again.
Yeah, well, there's some people out there that don't even get to eat oatmeal, Mark.
That being said, I have 5 cups of rice pudding. Let me know. I'll be happy to email it to you, which he did. I actually picked it up from Mark.
That's how bored you are.
Well, I was also picking up. Mark is very nice to Doug and I.
Absolutely, sweet.
And gave Doug and I a bunch of pre-workouts and protein powders and stuff too. So I was picking that stuff up as well.
I think it's the best time for me to start working out.
And then, for sure, because you have access to my weights.
Yeah, dude.
You have a bunch of protein powder. And actually, this next question, I don't know who. This is literally from somebody named Jason Bate. So this.
No, it's not.
I swear to God.
Somebody. That's so funny.
Somebody that created this.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that funny?
That's hilarious. Somebody combined both of our names.
You might want to start working out because here is literally the question. You ready?
Okay.
Arm wrestling. Who wins? Jason versus AJ. Next is Jason versus Doug. Next is Doug versus AJ. Next is Katie versus Joanna.
Wow.
All right. So the first one is me, of course.
Harumph. He
literally just admitted that he doesn't do any working out.
Which is even more embarrassing when I actually beat you.
Settle down. We'll do it on camera next week.
Yeah, let me. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not at an advantage, but I will.
Me and Doug, I'll be honest. Doug.
I think it's Doug.
Me.
Yeah,
Doug gets me. Yeah. He's a big guy.
Just skip the next one.
He's a big guy.
Just skip that.
I think we know Doug gets that one too. Doug gets that one. Katie versus Joanna.
That's I don't know, man.
Because Polish power.
Yeah.
But at the same time.
But your wife works with.
My wife does work with people where you have to get a little
very
physical
heavy people.
Sometimes and do lifts and stuff like that. My wife not so active in it anymore, but was working out with us and will have to go out with me on the kayak and do active stuff like that. Especially over the summer.
Joanna's a very athletic gal.
Yeah.
She's very athletic and she can be scrappy. And she's definitely not weak. She's definitely strong.
Yeah, see, that's how I feel about Katie, though, too. It's that, I definitely don't feel like Katie is weak. I think she's sweet. And then sometimes people will mistake her being sweet in her job and her caregiving for weakness.
Yeah.
But no, she's pretty tough.
I think it comes down to who has the stronger fighting spirit. I think that's really what it comes down to.
At the end of it, who's more motivated?
Who has a dark side?
At the time.
You know what I mean?
And, what kind of mood?
Because Joanna is a very sweet person. She's not like violent or anything
it's
like
the same.
that.
Katie, like, is really not like a violent person.
Like she's not even like a an angry person like that snaps or anything like that.
Right.
So she's very so it's very hard to kind of it has to come down to like who wants it more.
In the moment.
Yeah. But physically, I don't think that Joanna is weak at all. No.
Yeah, I feel the same about Katie. As a matter of fact, one thing that pains me that I almost did this is that since I've been working out, you're getting bigger in certain areas. What Katie likes to do, I'm speaking for somebody who works out.
Okay, sorry, I thought you were talking about me.
You get smaller and smaller every time I see you.
But when I was talking about how my self-esteem was not doing so well?
Yeah.
This is your...
Just wait till we arm wrestle, baby.
Fucking asshole. Fucking, I'm going to go into the woods and just like start working out.
Yeah, do something. Do something.
Oh,
anything will help.
I'll do something.
But no, you get bigger and stuff like that. And now what Katie will do is she'll punch me in those areas. So if I worked out my shoulders that day, she'll start punching me in the shoulders or in the legs. And she actually hits pretty fucking hard.
It hurts.
So it does hurt. So it's another reason I think that, like, Katie's, again, a lot stronger than she appears. And her dad used to do a bit of boxing and taught her how to throw a punch and stuff.
I thought you were like, her dad did a bit of boxing. So it's in genetics.
So genetically, no, he kind of showed her how to throw a punch. And stuff like that. I don't know how well that transfers over to arm
I don't
wrestling,
think so. I don't think so
at all.
Or just any like in any fight really. But I think it really comes down to kind of like just like raw physical attributes of whether you're like strong enough or not.
All the more reason I will beat you in an arm wrestle.
Dude, you're fucking dreaming. Like if I'm telling you, dude, you're so fucked.
There's like literally,
you're so fucked.
We're like literally recording this on your
phone.
I
swear to God, just like how long have you been working out for?
Maybe 6 months, maybe.
No, don't downplay. Be honest. How long have you been working out
since
for?
Since the winter.
Okay, since the winter. Okay,
so probably less than 6 months.
No, that's not true. That's not fucking true.
Well, when's the winter? November.
Actually, it's only been 3 months. It's just genetics. I'm just that much of a freak.
Yeah.
No, fucking liar. Fucking, dude, give me 2 months of just working out. 2 months, less than you. Give me 2 months of me working out.
And you'll pass me.
Oh, dude.
Even though I continue to work out?
Dude, genetically, dude, I'm superior.
First of all, you'll never be allowed to step foot in my gym. No,
you're going to annex me?
Any of my...
You're going to...
There's a ban. What
about equal opportunity?
I let you in. Fuck it. I've been working out with Doug, and then today he put Nickelback in our playlist. I almost kicked him out.
See? I would never do that to you.
I know you wouldn't do that to me.
I would never do that to you. I would just be happy to be there.
Yes, I know. I know. Well, you need it.
But yeah. Okay, 2 months? You're fucked.
You say so.
It's 2 months.
Anyways, Jason Bate.
Whoever the fuck Jason Bate is.
You've really rattled
You've become an enemy of the... see what you're doing between me and my friends now.
You're really tearing us up here. But I will admit, I'll be the bigger man, or in this case, smaller man, and happily say... Doug would destroy either one of us.
I'm definitely not arguing that whatsoever.
For a second. Yeah, Doug would crush me.
No, I would not want any of that.
Yeah, no, I don't want to play with him.
I would just like first of all, even if I was on equal footing as him, I would just be distracted by his titties. Like
and that's the
they're
thing.
magnificent.
Like, when those move at the beginning of the match,
it's too much.
You're just like rumsky, and then you're down.
I just get turned on.
You just get too excited. Your eyes kind of like move towards them, like it follows them.
So it's not just physical superiority. It's really,
also physical attraction.
He's majestic.
It's just it's the beauty that traps you.
I just want those tatas in my mouth. All right. Well, we're definitely overstayed our welcome with the people. They're literally like, just shut the fuck up, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
We're at 1 hour and 17 minutes.
Jesus.
But thank you so much, guys. Bless up. Really, just fucking break into a vaccine place and just
get that shot.
Just
baby.
Take the shot. And
if
you have any, please give us some.
Email us one. Email us your vaccines and your rice pudding.
So that's been us. We'll check you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks again, guys.
All right, bye.